And go.
Yo, 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 yo! What up, man? Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz. That's right, Bar Talk with the Superfans. We're chilling out with the group. What do we have in today's edition? As always, you got your fearless host, Andy B&B, in the studio. What up, man? Wow. And me, of course, your amateur hype man, Superfan Art. We can be talking a lot of sports. Now we're going to be doing it South Texas style.
Oh, no.
So without further ado, take it away, our host, Dan the Man.
Yo, yo, yo. What up, everyone? How's everyone doing? Welcome to Mezzo Forte Sportz, coming to you live from San Antonio, Texas, to your ears. For mine, some sports time for your free time. What up, everyone? This is your host, Danny BMD. How's everyone doing, and how did your team do this week? Woo! Yes. Round of applause, because it's been like a crazy week for me. So, let me just start off by saying a couple things. A lot of, football, a lot of sports, a lot of things happened over the weekend. I just want to give a quick shout out to everyone following us here. Thank you so much. A round of applause. You guys are the best fans in the world. Super fans just like us. We're going to continue on and see how far we get to with this. In regards to, our teams, congratulations to, first of all, UTSA, yes, Conference USA champions. It's just, it only took them, like 10 years or so, but, there are at that level. They did get into the same bowl game they got last year. We'll talk a little bit more about that as we get more into it, but yeah, that's pretty exciting for more than anything, obviously for the UTSA, the alumni, the students, the school, but also honestly for the city of San Antonio. It's been a long while since, they've been very, very good, high, not just high, intensity football, but high expectation football, where there's a lot, it's a big city, it's a big school now, there's a lot of money, it's the Alamo Dome. It's just everything just kind of makes it that much better. So again, just congrats to UTSA. Conference USA champions. We'll see next year how how they start getting ranked as they continue on with their college rankings, and hopefully at some point get into college playoffs. It's gonna happen, bro. And they play UT next year, so that's gonna be fun.
Oh.
But other than that, obviously, we did see a lot of football. I know NFL Week 13 did happen. We did several interesting matchups, just essentially like seeding, ranking how things are now. I feel like, I don't know, this is like, to me, it's not weird. It's just like, I didn't expect, like, the Patriots are like number 1 seed in the AFC. Like, I didn't really expect that, in the middle of the season or whatever. And, for them to win with the quarterback throwing like 3 passes in the whole game, dude, like, just like stuff like that. I don't know that's his Patriots, but just, it's interesting how it's week 13, right? There's still 4 more weeks, dude, before the end of the season. It's still a whole month, so it's starting to now feel like, I feel like now, all the injuries, how the injuries happening in the middle of the season, and then the ones that deal with it better towards the end kind of, went out. Now you're going to start to see how those teams resurface. Yeah, the Cardinals on the other side, they're the number 1 seed on that. So that's pretty crazy. We'll talk to some NBA as well. A little bit of craziness and extensions, a lot of money being thrown around. And just, as we start shaping up how teams are going to start working or looking into, into kind of viewing that. But go for it, Art. I'll go ahead and have you take over the college part.
All right, man. Well, good to be here on this Tuesday evening with you. A big shout out to all of our viewers out there and whatever platform you happen to be watching us on. If you like our stuff, give us a like, subscribe. If you're going to hate us, just keep it clean in the comments. And if you do want to comment, hell, maybe will even answer some questions live on air. I know we're monitoring both YouTube and Twitch for that. So just thank you once again for tuning in to our little sports program we enjoy on a bi-weekly basis. But no, as Danny said, this whole weekend it was full of some excellent sports. From around different leagues. Basketball, Spurs have been looking, pretty good after some losing streaks. Now they're enjoying what was a decent winning streak of recently. I'll get into that later on. Uh, Cowboys, they uh, they they bounced back after that little fumble they had on Thanksgiving. That was cool. Uh, I know currently there's some big developments happening in the baseball world vis-a-vis a lockout. If we have a little bit of time later on, I'd like to get into, the what's it all about, what's at stake, what are they fighting for, and the football world. Sadly, my Texas Longhorns they couldn't really get into not just the Big 12 championship, couldn't even become bowl eligible. That's okay. They'll bounce back. I believe. You know, in recruiting class wise, they're already getting a couple of good recruits out of high school. I think one kid recently, I think offensive lineman decommitted from Oklahoma after Coach Lincoln Riley left. Now, like he set his sights on Texas, so that's cool. I'm not sure if was it Peyton Manning's nephew is like one of the top quarterbacks in the country. Who could he end up with? I don't know. Uh, I mean, definitely he did visit Austin one time, so that was cool. But I digress. It was a lot of great games this past weekend in the college football spectrum, and it pretty much, there was not a foregone conclusion of which would be the final four teams. It had to be fought out. Some scenarios had to play out for certain teams with losses in other games, but I digress. So here's kind of like a summation of what happened over this weekend in the college football world. It all began on I think it was Thursday or Friday. It was Friday evening. You had some important games. You had Oregon facing Utah for the Pac-12 title. Uh, and no pun intended, but Oregon, the Ducks, they laid an egg. Utah, they just creamed them, 38 to 10. Uh, the
Wow.
repercussions of that loss, ended up that Oregon's coach, I should say former coach, he ended up leaving from Oregon. He's going to go to Miami. Uh, I'll get into that later. Uh,
Oh
well,
wow.
I'll get that in short while. Or I can say it now.
Right. Yeah.
So basically, Oregon, they lost against Utah badly. As a consolation prize, Oregon is going to go with the interim coach to play against an OU team, Oklahoma, with their own interim coach in the Alamo Bowl later on in the month of December. So that's pretty. I mean, what are the odds of that? Both teams, uh, you know, missed their shot at the playoffs, and now they have to face each other with interim coaches in San Antonio. Uh, but in terms of the story about Oregon, well, after weeks of speculation down in Miami with the Hurricanes,
Yeah. The you.
unfortunately they did fire their current coach Manny Diaz this past Monday after 3 years on the job. Decision came after numerous reports indicated they were going to lure Oregon's coach Mario Cristobal back to Miami, where he did actually play as a player. He won like two championships, uh, and he served as his assistant to coach Larry Coker. So he actually won the championship under the Coker regime. I think it was back in the early 2000s, somewhere around there. And so Coach Cristobal, formerly of the Oregon, he informed him on Monday that he was going to be leaving. I'm not sure how many years or for what disclosed uh, monetary amount it'll be for. Uh, and the Ducks, man, they did try to offer him an extension. I mean, he pretty much put him back into prominence. I mean, he led the Ducks to a 35 and 13 record in over like five different seasons, including a 10-3 mark that was this year. I mean, we all know they beat Ohio State. That was a pretty marquee game in the beginning of the season. Uh, now, As per recruiting, I was mentioning earlier, recruiting will be an 8-day sprint to the finish. The early signing period starts on December 15th. Now, Coach Cristobal, now of the Hurricanes, he does have a reputation as a recruiter, recruiting some elite talent. He's just got about a week to put together a class. That's got to be like he's rushing to finish like a final project. We've all been there. Uh, but no, interesting to see. And I'll report later on in future episodes, you know, how these recruiting classes look for like the big name schools. I mean, maybe UTSA gets some guys. UT should get some guys. Uh, maybe even A&M. A&M's made the big has lured away some big names from other schools. So, but I digress. So Oregon, they lost to Utah. The game that we all know you were watching because you were freaking there was UTSA had a thriller win against Western Kentucky. The hell are they called? I had it written down here. Don't tell me. Okay. Now I'm playing. Roadrunners beat Western Kentucky Hilltoppers 49-41 for the Conference USA title.
Yeah.
Entered the season with a huge chip on his shoulder, and the Roadrunners set it down Friday night. They hoisted up that conference trophy by the end of the evening. Running back Sincere McCormick rushed for 204 yards and 3 touchdowns, and the UTSA Roadrunners escaped, and I'll say that word lightly, escaped another outing by the Kentucky quarterback. The dude, I mean, he was relentless. Bailey Zapp, or Zappy. How do they call it in the game?
I think it's Zappy. Yeah.
Zappy. Okay, Bailey Zappy. I mean, it was 49-41 was the final score, but we all know that UTSA almost blew a sizable 20-some point lead. I don't know what happened to the offense. It just stayed in the locker room. Meanwhile, Kentucky, I don't know what kind of secret stuff their coach gave them, but they were just on fire, both on the air and in the run game. But it was a victory. And it was victory in front of the third largest crowd in UTSA school history at 41,148 capacity who were there, including you, man. You're one of that. You're a statistic, bro. Now you, Seabass, my buddy the Juice. Yeah, you over there. You saw them struggle to get that lead. Running Roadrunners quarterback Frank Harris, who responded to one of his worst outings last week by completing 19 to 28 passes for 218 yards and 2 touchdowns this week to secure that conference title, which it pretty much propels you into a bowl game. You're already in the bowl game contention, but now you're all gonna face a very decent San Diego State Aztecs football team that was at one point ranked 19. Well, the reason why y'all are going to face the Aztecs is because they actually lost in the Mountain West championship game when they faced off against Utah State. I think final score was Utah State 46, San Diego State 13. Now, a lot of people are speculating or talking about, UTSA winning the title. Why do they face a San Diego State team? Whereas I think University of Alabama Birmingham, or UAB, they're actually going to face like BYU, who is actually ranked a little bit higher. And I think there's more television audience and money to be made. So I think people are saying UTSA got the short end of the stick, maybe perhaps because it's a smaller market or the school's still fairly in its infancy in terms of, college football athletics. So just a quick recap. How was the experience at the game? That's one. And two, do you think they got a good deal with facing San Diego State later on for their bowl game or not? Or do you think they deserve better?
Yeah. Yeah. So I think that. Well, first of all, the game was really good.
Nice.
Yeah.
Tell us about that atmosphere.
So it was really good. I mean, UTSA just kind of pulled ahead. They were essentially doing what they were doing. They were running the ball. I think at some point they almost had like 230 yards on them running. Whether it be the running backs or the QB just like you're sneaking QB or rushing it a little bit. Sometimes they had 100 yards on them. They weren't really throwing the ball. Um, so that's so what happened, like, but they were able to pull ahead. They actually had like one or two like really huge runs. So that's why they got all those 200. But the third quarter, they continued trying to run the ball, play action a little bit more, but they're play action more. They're doing more play action during, running the ball and play action, running the ball, play action, running the ball, play action, and then they running the ball more, play action less, and then they switched it where they were doing play action or backwards. They were doing a lot of more play action, but it wasn't working. So they're running the ball, running the ball, running the ball. And then on the third quarter, they try to continue running the ball, and it didn't work. They were getting stopped. They're getting stopped. They're getting stopped. And then they're like throwing on 3rd and 7, 3rd and 6, 3rd and 8. I was like, dude, like, they
Not
were
very
getting
wise.
it, and no, and they were getting first downs, but it's like, dude, it like goes in even 50-50 ball. It's like straight up like 75-25, steal it from the steal it from the corner, like. But the quarterback was really good. Frank, I forgot his name. My bad. It's like I don't even know the quarterback's name. Anyways, but I know
Frank
that.
Harris is that name?
Yeah, Harris. There we go, Harris. I know that. Honestly, he's a very good presence in the in the game, just in the pocket. Um, and yeah, they started, you know, kind of getting stopped, and then they ran the ball, and then at some point, I think they got a large, like a big play, like on the like literally, like the guy was like, he the safety bit, and then the guy just took off for a touchdown, like something like that. So we're like, oh, like that at that moment, that's when we're like, oh damn, like we actually can lose this one. It was like a 18. I think it was like 18 points. We're up by 18 points. I'm like, nah, it's not that bad. But then scored a touchdown or something like that, and where they're down by like no, they're down by 22 points. Then they scored a field goal. I was like, dude, it's whatever. They're like, CBS like, technically, bro, it's two possession game. I was like, oh damn, whatever. So they end up not they end up not coming back. UTSA this did tighten the defense a little bit. They started like throwing the ball a little bit more, getting a little bit more risky, which end up working in their favor, and they were getting a couple more touchdowns, and they won. They have a really good offense. They have a really good team. The system's a little bit more established, built than it was obviously when we first started, and I think it's just very attractive, for an athlete, for a high school, for like we keep talking about it, how in football, it's in college or whatever, it's if you have your five-star receivers, but you only play two or three of them, like the fourth and fifth is gonna be like kind of like, hey, I kind of want to go elsewhere. I'm not gonna play any game time or whatever. And UTSA, it's a big market. Maybe people don't, not necessarily people from San Antonio, but there's a lot of people in Texas, and they like to move to the big city. San Antonio, I feel like it's
Yes.
big enough where it's still the big city, but not like where it's just like, dang, like I need to like, you
Yeah,
know,
sometimes it's a culture shock to
yeah,
be in like a big metropolitan city, like a Houston or Los Angeles or New York. But San Antonio's just, you know, small enough to where, yeah, I mean, it is a very sizable population, uh, but it's not like a big city that could be intimidating at times. Some of these young guys come from, small communities. That's why they're five-star recruits. Out there in like Lubbock, for instance, and then you throw this guy like in Dallas. Like that's a change, man. This guy's, he's a country boy, and now he's in the he's in the city being thrown in. But no, definitely. Hopefully this season can prove to be, a big beacon to draw out some of the draft picks, or prospects rather, excuse me, or maybe even a few transfers going your way to UTSA.
yeah.
Uh, Now, just your quick thoughts on how how they look in their bowl game, you think it's a good matchup, or you feel sour and that you think they should have deserved a little bit better opponent?
Yeah, so I mean, a lot of people were pretty mad. I mean, they were pretty pissed, including I think the mayor is also like in on it too, like on Twitter or Instagram. Because it's still the same bowl game. It's like kind of like, all right, well, you guys did better this year, and but you guys get the same thing. Like, I mean, I understand. You and me been watching college football, for a long time. We understand how the bowl system works. It really is a money grab. I mean, it just is. At the end of the day, it's whoever makes you the most money. Like you said, UTSA is just very small. It's just the market's not that big. Who's gonna listen? Who's gonna watch UTSA? Just people in the San Antonio area. Yeah, it's like 2-3 mil or whatever, right? But you don't have like like Texas. There's Texas. There's Texas fans in Austin, right? But there's also
Yeah.
Texas Longhorn fans where everywhere the hell else,
Yes.
Also whether like the brands are just so powerful, and they'd rather take a brand like that. I'm not really mad about it. Honestly, I'm more happy about the conference championship. I think that's way better. I mean, I feel bad for the seniors. They should have gotten a better bowl, honestly.
Yeah.
But they can show up, dude. It's a bowl games or a show up. I mean, for me, it's a dress rehearsal to the draft. Honestly, you know, just one last chance for you to, yeah, you could play football or play for your senior year and stuff like that. But sometimes for these players, it's one last chance to kind of prove who they are and stuff like that. Increase their
Yes.
draft pick a little bit. And I think UTSA. I'm not mad about it. I'm just I'm a little disappointed, but I'm just not you know surprised. Um,
Okay.
Especially when we didn't start not receiving any love during the rankings. Like, come on, dude. Like, I mean, but the only good thing, and not even to do with UTSA, it's actually Cincinnati. Dude, Cincinnati is in the college playoff, right? They're not Power Five, so that's good for like UTSA. Granted, we're not gonna be in the national championship, conversation for a while, but we can.
Yes.
The opportunity is there. The window. You
It is
know.
possible. It's
Yeah.
possible to achieve. And it'll be even more possible if they decide to wise up and extend the playoffs, which hopefully they'll continue talks about that to extend it, I don't know, beyond, instead of a 4 team format, maybe make it 16 teams or eight. I don't know. If that would happen, it'd probably take it into effect maybe by, 2024, for example. But no, yes, definitely. You were not. UTSA was on a nationally televised game on a Friday evening. I mean, luckily it wasn't too overlapping with the Oregon game. So yeah, y'all got some viewers. Y'all, you know, hopefully will lure some good talent your way. Uh, for those of you who don't know when the game is, UTSA, they have that date with San Diego State Aztecs on Tuesday, December 21st, 7:30 p.m. on ESPN. Uh, we'll go more in depth to each one of these bowl games, or at least the more notable ones. There's a lot of funny named ones. I can't wait to just like go off on some of these crazy sponsorships. Uh, but aside from UTSA, there was, quite other good games. Like I said, my Longhorns, they didn't make it in, so I had to cheer on the other Texas-based teams. So I was cheering on the Birds, the Runners. I was cheering them on. And early Saturday, I was cheering on the Baylor Bears, who faced off against Oklahoma State in that Big 12 title matchup. It was an early game on Saturday. It did not disappoint. Final score ended up being 21-16, but it was just the way it happened. Like, Baylor had a good lead, and then Oklahoma State, they were making good runs, and they came like within, striking distance. On the final drive, there was twice where they were almost in the end zone to punch it in for the win. Within maybe just 2 feet, the final like play of the game on 4th and long. The Oklahoma State receiver, or I think it was a receiver, he got a short pass and he was running towards the end to catch the pylon. And one of the Baylor defensemen, like, he saved the game. Like, he got the guy just short. It looked like it was that much space left for that touchdown. So indeed, it was a game of inches, no pun intended. Oklahoma State, they were really trying to break into that playoff spot. I think if they would have won, and if Georgia would have won, they very well might have been in it. Or if Michigan would have lost, they might have been in it. Their odds were not that bad. And even Baylor's odds weren't that bad either. That they also needed, the same kind of losses. But I think uh, what really threw a monkey wrench in everything, and you mentioned them already, was Cincinnati in the American Athletic Conference Championship title. They faced off against the Houston Cougars, whom I was also rooting for, Texas-based team, by the way. But it wasn't meant to be, as Cincinnati just capped off that Cinderella season. I think they won 35-20 against Houston, got the American Athletic title. I think they went undefeated the entire season. I think they were 12-0 or 13-0. I don't know how you say it. They just crashed the whole scene. They're in that whole playoff bracket. Like you said, maybe this will give inspiration to other non-Power Five conferences that it can be achieved. Uh, making a run for the playoffs. Uh, so the other teams in question, I mean, Michigan against Iowa. Michigan was kind of an underdog early in the season. They just never let up. They had some quality wins against Michigan State earlier, and then Ohio State. Pretty much they knocked off Ohio State single-handedly out of the Big Ten title game, which Michigan Wolverines ended up facing against Iowa. They just demolished them, to put no doubt in anybody's mind. They deserve to be in that top four spot for the playoffs. Score was 42-3. It was a beatdown.
Yeah.
Eh,
I
eh,
mean, uh, I don't. I understand Georgia and Bama. It just annoys me. You know what I mean?
yes. Yeah, no, I get you, man. Uh, and that SEC title game, which was on everybody's must-watch list, I thought it should have been on pay-per-view and it got a lot of money.
Dude.
Uh, and Georgia got exposed.
They
Their
did.
their top-ranked defense just they didn't show up. Or is Alabama's offense against Bryce Young under QB, were they legitimate? I don't know. It was 41-24 final score. Alabama saved their season. I'm pretty sure if a two-loss Alabama team would not have been able to advance, past like Oklahoma or something
Or
like that.
Georgia. Yeah, I
State.
mean, undefeated Georgia. Yeah. Or even like Cincy, Michigan. If Bama would have lost, who do you think would have gotten in?
If Bama might have lost,
Baylor?
eh,
I
it
don't
could,
think so, dude.
I think everyone was thinking maybe Notre Dame or even long shot Ohio State, just based on strength of schedule and whatnot. I think if Oregon would have won, they could have maybe
Oh
gone in.
yeah. Oh yeah.
So it was a lot of different scenarios, which made each game all the more important than the last one. I know some teams might have been just sitting at home hoping for that shot. I think Notre Dame was one of those teams. Some people I think we were discussing that them being independent might hurt them because there's no conference title that Notre Dame might be able to achieve, to put on that resume to maybe move into the top four spot. But anyway, going back to the Alabama Georgia game, it was definitely a lot one sided. It was not the Georgia we had seen all season long, just dominating teams. Alabama, they did their job. They bounced back from that close near loss to Auburn in that Iron Bowl, whatever they had prior. It's a rivalry game. And Saban, he had his team just fine tuned. They just were going on all cylinders in the air, on the ground. Uh, Left no doubts that with one loss, a fluke one loss against A&M, they deserve to be once again at the top of the mountain. So that's what we ended up with. Our 14 playoffs. It's going to be Cincinnati versus Alabama on one end, and then Georgia and Michigan, which is the sexier game, on the other spectrum. And those games will be played. Let's see, I have it here. I think on New Year's Day or New Year's
Yeah,
Eve.
it should be New Year's Day.
New
Yeah,
Year's
yeah,
Day.
because New Year's Eve is NBA. No.
I semifinal. I have here Friday, December 31st, but I think I might have misplaced it. Uh, so it's probably the first. I mean, that's what they say. New Year's. No, I think it's it. New Year's Eve Classic. So it's the Goodyear Cotton Bowl Classic. Number 4 Cincinnati, number 1 Alabama. That's 3:30, and then Capital One Orange Bowl, the nightcap. That's Georgia, and number 2 Michigan. All of these four on Friday, December the 31st. Uh, and then all the other bowl games, all the other 40 some bowl games, I'll discuss them later. Uh, just to kind of speed things up because I know we've been talking a lot of college, and I mean, there's a lot of interesting things that happened in the college world. This was a big college weekend,
Yeah.
football wise. So yeah, I got to mention a couple of more things.
Go for it.
The other one is the Heisman race. The Heisman race is already, I think, we're coming down to the final week. The voting and all that is currently underway. Uh, so who are your candidates? Well, uh, Bryce Young of Alabama, C.J. Stroud. I think he's of Ohio State. Kenny Pickett and Aiden Hutchinson are named Heisman Trophy finalists for 2021. Okay, Alabama quarterback Bryce Young, Michigan defensive end, Aiden Hutchinson, who's a beast. Uh, Pittsburgh quarterback Kenny Pickett and Ohio State QB C.J. Stroud were announced this past Monday as finalists for the Heisman Trophy. 3 quarterbacks headlined the nominees during a 2021 season that lacked a clear frontrunner going into November and was highlighted by some great defensive performances. Uh, now, traditionally, quarterbacks, well, I mean, it shouldn't be traditionally, but it's just that's how it always goes. Quarterbacks have dominated the award in recent years, winning 17 times since 2000 and taking home 4 of the past 5 trophies. Last year, Alabama's Devontae Smith was the first wide receiver to win the Heisman since Desmond Howard back in 1991. After throwing for about 421 yards and 3 touchdowns in that 41-24 win over the then top-ranked Georgia Bulldogs in that SEC title game Saturday, QB Bryce Young, who is in his first season as a starter, now projected rather as the overwhelmingly favorite or odds-on favorite to take home the Heisman Award. Now, Young, he would become Alabama's 4th Heisman winner, second consecutively, but first quarterback. Let me see. So Alabama would also become the 6th school to boast back-to-back Heisman winners. So the Heisman Trophy is going to be presented on Saturday in New York City. I think it's 8 p.m. Eastern Time, aired on ESPN. Returning to its usual routine date after it was forced to have that delay and go virtual, last year, COVID, pandemic, whatnot. So this Saturday, odds-on favorite, quarterback of Alabama. I don't see anybody else. That's just that performance. That was that key performance you needed to just move away in the race. I mean, the guy Stroud was C.J. Stroud from Ohio State. In the beginning of the season, he looked like he was the stud, but Ohio State, losing to Oregon, that put him into question. I think the other guy who is of notable ranking was it's the Aiden Hutchinson for Michigan. Dude's like posting, I don't know, like record sacks and turnovers, pressuring the QB. I mean, that's evident because they beat Ohio State and they just trumped over Iowa. So, like, a lot of the Michigan Wolverine success could be on the defensive end, vis-a-vis this guy Hutchinson, who, if he doesn't get any Heisman honors, hopefully he gets a lot of different hardware for his defensive prowess.
Dude, he's like a Bosa, right? Like that Bosa, like
yeah,
the Bosa brothers, like that feel, right?
that guy who's just that catalyst on defense. He's the captain.
Like he's just go. He's just a motor. Like go, 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 go.
Yeah.
Dude, I was watching some they're showing tape on him. Like, dude, like some of the offensive linemen look tired, dude. Like they're just like, no, like you could tell like that guy has an engine. It's just like one of those guys that just like tires you out. Hit, hit, hit. Yeah, that's cool. That's crazy.
No, definitely. And I mean, Heisman or no Heisman, you're going to see that guy next year in some aspect in the pros.
Yeah.
Just scaring offenses with his just like bottomless energy, and yeah, that's pretty much what I had to say on the Heisman race. The only last thing I had to discuss college-wise was a team I don't really give a shit about. Part of my French. We're technically after dark already. Uh, Oklahoma, they hired Clemson defensive coordinator Brent Venables. I can't even say it correctly. I don't even want to say it correctly. Brent Venables as the Sooners' new football coach. He was Clemson's defensive coordinator. Brent Venables is Oklahoma's new head coach. They announced just previously the deal was finalized on Sunday night. After the OU athletic director flew him from Clemson, South Carolina, to meet up with Venables, who emerged as the Sooners' top target. Venables then flew back with Oklahoma's contingent Sunday night and would be formally introduced Monday. He just was all pomp and circumstance, cheerleaders, the band. They even had that little like Sooner schooner, that little cart with the ponies on it to like welcome him at the airport. He was all cute and shit.
Oh god.
He does have a good resume. Venables is one of the top defensive minds in college game. He was a major part of Clemson's championship run under Dabo Swinney, and has a long history with Oklahoma. He was on the Sooners staff from 1999 through 2011 as a co-defensive coordinator.
Oh, so he's been there.
Yeah, as a co-defensive coordinator from 1999 to 2003, and a defensive coordinator from 04 to 11. While at Clemson, he was the Broyles Award winner in 2016 as the top assistant in college football. He did turn down multiple head coaching opportunities in recent years to possibly stay at Clemson. So, I mean, they're pretty sour about Lincoln Riley just leaving unannounced, but they got a good consolation coach.
I was like, I would have done the same thing. I would have left, especially with how Clemson is now.
Yeah. Clemson's kind of like on the backslide now. I won't get into too much detail, but yeah, it's good. A guy with a history with your university, familiar with your program. It's awesome. Good for you. We can't wait to beat you next year. But that's my end conclusion of our college talk. Unless you wanted to speak your mind on some other topics of the college world that you thought were interesting.
No, we'll go right into the pros.
Yes, the pros.
The pros.
Week 13. This is a week 13 recap. And it's always a good. Okay, you have to put some music, huh?
Yeah, I gotta put some music. I gotta put some music for you, dude.
I like it.
All right, go for it, bro. Start your recap.
Okay, week 13 key recap. Started out as of last Thursday. We had our own Dallas Cowboys face off against the New Orleans Saints out there in the Big Easy. So after losing the Thursday prior in the Thanksgiving matchup against the Raiders, we finally we got a decent W on the road. Cowboys won 27-17. Now, it was really the defense. Defense is what lifted us in that victory. Defensive coordinator Dan Quinn had to step in for Mike McCarthy as acting head coach, and he enjoyed the sideline view as the unit he normally oversees lifted the Cowboys out of their recent swoon with a big slew of some big plays. CeeDee Lamb had over 122 yards from scrimmage, Tony Pollard, he ripped off a 58-yard touchdown run, and the Dallas defense produced a drive stalling sack and 3 interceptions in the fourth quarter of a 27-17 victory over the Saints. That was last Thursday. Cowboys are 8-4. They intercepted the Saints quarterback Taysom Hill about 4 times in total, 3 times of which were in the final 6 and 32 of the game, including defensive tackle Carlos Watkins' pick 6 on the screen pass.
Yes!
Not have live.
I love that big man pick 6. That was, dude, I saw it live. I was like, okay. Just like, bro, you better get that TD. I thought he was gonna launch himself at the player. I'm like, at the safety. I'm like, dude, you need to get the hell out of the way, bro. But no, I don't know. Sorry, guys. I didn't mean to interject or whatever. That was just like, I love like those type of.
Yeah,
that was
it's
like he straight up like,
every day either.
Bro, he straight up caught it in the air, like boom, like nope.
He gobbled it with his arms and was just running for dear life. And the dude made it. He made it to a 27-10 game when it was like 2 left in the game. So yeah, it was a legit victory. So that was a great way to start off the week 13. I mean, the Cowboys on Thursday. I mean, it pretty much makes a good, I guess, appetizer for the weekend to come. To see a good Cowboys victory. Now, Sunday is when we had all the other games. What was happening Sunday? Well, you had the likes of the Buccaneers. They handled their business with the Falcons, 30-17. Cardinals are continuing their dominance atop their division, 33-22 over the Bears. The Chargers Bengals, that one could have been a toss-up because you don't know which kind of Bengals team you're going to get each week. The one that just like dominates people, or the one that just like looks like the Bengals of old. Well, the Chargers, they delivered 41-22 on the road at Cincinnati. I guess the Lions. Guess what? The Lions
I
get
know,
their first
dude.
W.
You know what?
The Lions get their first W of the season, 29-27.
Standing ovation.
And now everyone is trying to look for the other 3 horsemen of the apocalypse.
Dude, I feel bad, dude. It's because the coach, dude. Like that coach, like those type of coaches, like they make me want to play for them. You know, like, like the way he talks or whatever. Like I feel so bad for him, pobrecito. Like, and you lose like horribly, like on horrible situations. But dude, like. And that was I didn't actually see the game, but I saw the replay. But like if you see the local broadcast, oh, he got it! Oh my God! It's like you can't even like understand what he's saying. I'm like, oh dang, dude! Congrats! I don't know. Congrats, Detroit! You got your first win of the season. At least you're not the, what is it? 07 Dolphins?
Oh, he went there.
Right? Is it 07 Dolphins?
Sure.
It's the only undefeated, or the only winless teams in NFL history.
Excuse
me. Oh, 2008. Has a team ever gone 0-16? Yes, Detroit. Oh, Detroit Lions, 2008. God dang.
Nice.
That can't be true.
Well, yes.
2017, Cleveland Browns.
I don't know. Maybe it was it the Manziel years? I don't know. Or the pre-Manziel years.
Might have been the right after Manziel years. I don't know. My bad, guys. I'm like I'm gonna start getting into the Wikipedia vortex or whatever.
Well, while you research that, just to cap down with some of the other games that were going on, the Dolphins, what's up? They keep winning for some reason. Well, they beat I think it was the Giants 20-9 I think they didn't. The Giants didn't really have their QB Daniel Jones. I don't know what kind of injury he was going through, so it was like a no-brainer. They were going to win. The Eagles. I didn't know they were without Jalen Hurts. Actually, they pulled out a 33-18 win over the Jets with Gardner Minshew. Remember that guy? He's got the 1970s uh, mustache going on. Dude was
Did you see that video?
ecstatic.
Did you see that video with him and his dad?
It was crazy. Dude was just like, yeah, you like that. That's my boy.
I'm like, are you guys okay? Like,
a lot of emotion.
I was like, are you? Like, I kind of wanted to like reach in and be like, hey, you guys all right? Like, calm down, dude.
You do know Jalen Hurts is coming back, right? That's good. Good quality win. It was for the family enjoyed it. The Minshew family, the clan, they enjoyed it. Hopefully, maybe Minshew can get noticed by other teams. Maybe to be back up somewhere else. Detroit, what's up,
dude? I thought he was with the Jets. I thought he was with the Jets, honestly. And honestly though, like
be true,
the backup QBs.
Uh-huh.
They're a luxury if you think about it. I mean, honestly, the Cowboys, like, they didn't really do anything last year anyway, right? But when Dak went down, they got lucky that they got Dalton. Dalton is not a very good, QB all together, but he can put a good like 3-4 games,
Yes.
And especially now in the NFL where, like, dude, like, people go down all the time. Like, Colt McCoy's been, like, playing for, like, the Cardinals half the season,
That's true.
So, like, stuff like that where it's, like, now, backup, especially QBs, are, commodity. You gotta not necessarily invest in them, but just, like, be wary of, be like, all right, well, if versus goes down, like, how bad are we?
Yeah, what kind of shape we're in.
Yeah.
I think it could be almost comparable to, we all drive a vehicle, to some point in our lives, we drive vehicles and, so shit happens. We run over a nail. We have to, change a tire. We need that spare tire. It's always good. You get that little donut that could go to get you somewhere if you're going less than 40 miles per hour. Or if you have that big Chingon tire, that's almost the same as the tire you blew out. You go back, you get your same stride. So that could be, a good metaphor for having a good backup QB these days. But no, good stuff, Minshew.
Yeah, I mean,
pressing on to a team that could use a good quarterback, both starter and bench, is the Texans.
Oh.
They lost to the Colts 31-0. I didn't see the game. I don't know exactly. Well, I saw the highlights of the game. I don't know exactly what's going on in the Texans, man. Couldn't score any points. At home, by the way, for the home crowd. I'm sorry, man. I guess they're really relying on some draft picks. Who knows? Who knows? Maybe they'll get I'm not gonna say Bryce Young, because the dude's literally, a young kid at the moment. But yeah, Texans.
Yeah, there's not a good quarterback draft this year. It's more like defense and stuff. So,
but yeah, Texans. I'm sorry, man. It's tough to watch. This whole Sammy Watkins thing is just putting things into a funk right now. But pressing on, Washington football team. They barely beat the Raiders in Las Vegas, 17-15.
I saw that game.
I think the Raiders were desperately needing their tight end Waller, or at least I know I did in my fantasy wise. So that could have been a factor. The Rams hosted the Jaguars in, surprise, surprise, they beat the Jaguars 37-7. A game that I saw the ending, and I just couldn't believe the coach's call. Steelers won 20-19 against their rivals.
Put that siren on.
The Ravens. Is that the one?
No.
Moron, you're a moron, you're a moron. Steelers won. I think it was. Did Big Ben even play? He was. I don't know. I didn't see the game. I just saw how it ended, and how it ended was the Ravens elected to forego a tie in the final seconds of the game to try to win it all. Without a tie, excuse me, to push it to overtime. Yeah, they would have got 20-20 if they would have made the field goal. They just elected to go with a 2-point conversion. They'll just win it all then and there. And it happened with Jackson. He went to throw it to, I don't know, was it running back or tight end?
Yeah, no, I think it was the tight end.
The tight end, excuse me. In a play I'm sure they've done hundreds of times. It just went off the tip of his fingers. He could have maybe juggled it back to himself, but it just, it went over his head.
I mean, and if you saw, dude, like Lamar, like threw it like around the guy, like wanted style, like almost, like seriously.
To make it curve.
Yeah, because he's like, oh, like, I want this style. Imagine, no, but because he was like he was running, right? Like he couldn't throw the ball, like if you're looking at my screen, like I had to throw the ball like that way, right? Like that way, but my body's like this way, so he's like he kind of like threw it like around to try to get it this way, but it was just too far. Like it was just too behind him. It was a good throw. I still think, he touched the ball. I'm sorry, but you're a professional. If you can touch the ball, you can catch it. You know what I mean? Like, yes. Obviously I wasn't there, and I'm not a player myself or anything like that. But that's what they say. I think it was it was a good call. It's a Ravens Steelers game, bro. Like it's always gonna be 50-50. They can be like the bottom of the barrel or the top of the top. Like it's those Steelers, Ravens, that whole division, dude. Like those are like rivalries, like old school ones where it's just like, you see a 10-13 type of score, but it's still a badass game. So, but yeah, I just think you have to go for it. Honestly, at this point, because they were talking about it, because you can afford to lose the game, but you cannot. But you can't afford to lose the locker room. So like, if you know that the momentum is there, and then you ask like, what do you guys think? Like, oh, let's go for it. Go for it. And knowing as a coach, like, nah, guys, calm down. We just need the ball. You can do that. Oh, you're right, coach. And that's fine. They'll accept that. But it's a lot more where, like, you know what? Let's go for it. It's like that type of feel where it's just like, we got this. Yeah, we lost, but at least we all lost together. As a team. Whereas, we're gonna, risk it. We're convicts.
Risk it for the biscuit.
Yeah, we're convicts. We always risk it.
We always go for it all.
Always go for it all. So, but it's just, I think, it's just your typical Steelers Ravens game. It's just gonna be one of those type of games. Jim Harbaugh, and ¿cómo se llama? Other guy, Steelers.
Tomlin,
Coach Tomlin, dude. Like those two have seen a lot of each other, and it's just honestly like it's just one of those chess matchups where I just think the Steelers just won. They say that just kind of sidebar with that. They say that it might be Ben's last year.
Yeah, he's not getting younger, man.
Honestly, bro, it kind of looks like it. It's like sometimes like deja tu first second, like the first half. But like sometimes like in the fourth quarter, like when he's trying to scramble, like you can tell you're like, dude, like don't, like don't.
He's not wearing enough copper fit. I'll take.
No, but like just like I feel
Go
like.
on, big man, get 2 yards.
No, but sometimes I'm like kind of like, hey, dude, don't just stay there.
Go on, slide. Oh, that wasn't pretty slide at all. He just tipped over like a log.
It's like, Ben?
Ben,
Get
right?
Gotta go
That was
on.
a good run.
Gotta go on.
Do we win? No. No, we lost. Sorry, Ben.
I was like, oh, damn it.
But yes, I mean, the Steelers got to start shopping around for some good backups. I think they do have some decent backups, but the Big Ben era could very well be in its final year. Oh, we're watching a legend just jog off into the sunset.
Emphasis on jog.
Yes. Um, I mean, there's a few other games. The 49ers, they lost 23 to the Seahawks' own 30. I don't have much to say on that one. The Chiefs bounced back after looking shaky. They've got a decent win over the Broncos, 22-9,
Yeah.
at Arrowhead Stadium. And the game that was a lot more interesting than it should have been was the Patriots at the Bills. Patriots won 14-10. Interesting part about it is
Dude.
the Patriots only just threw 3 passes and they dominated in that ground game. So taking the ball out of rookie quarterback Mac Jones's hands with a wind gust, mind you, 40 miles per hour. I was seeing the game pregame practice kicks.
Wait, go back. How
Wind
many?
gusts, 40 miles per hour wind gusts. The guys
God
kicking,
damn,
they're practicing
dude.
the field goals in the beginning. The ball would just go. It's like, this ain't gonna be a kicking game, guys. We're gonna be going on 2 all the time now.
God.
So yeah, man, they
We're gonna
had to rely heavily on these run games, both sides, I'm sure.
Wow, dang, dude, that's a lot. Where do they play?
They
At
were
the Bills?
playing over there at Highmark Stadium over there in Buffalo, New York.
How far is the elevation? I want to check that out now.
That's fine. So the Patriots, they defeated Buffalo 14-10 on Monday night to enter their bye week as the number 1 seed in the AFC. Did I say that right? Number 1 seed in the AFC? Damn.
Yeah.
Overall, Mac Jones was just 2 out of 3 passing for 19 yards, while the Patriots ran for 222 yards on 46 carries. They had to.
God.
The 3 passing attempts are the fewest in Patriots history, while the 2 completions match their fewest, according to some stats and info that was researched. The 3 pass attempts were the fewest by any team since the Bills attempted just 2 in week 3 of the 1974 season when they played the New York Jets. The Patriots improved to 9-4 with Monday's triumph, with the Baltimore Ravens, Tennessee Titans, and the Kansas City Chiefs all at 8-4, just 1 game behind. The Bills, meanwhile, dropped to 7-5, and their margin of error to win the AFC East is it's getting a little bit thin for them to try to get to that AFC East top spot. I don't know, man. Were you able to catch this game yesterday?
I did. It was snowing a lot, dude.
Oh, there's some snow, huh?
Yeah, I mean, football is, it's played outside. Obviously there you have your dome, stadiums and stuff like that. Which ironically they're like mostly like in the south, which we have the warmer weather here. But the Packers, that's why they say like, and they always say that just because football is played in the winter, that winter teams tend to play better, at the end of the season. They're just more used to just the winter. Like for us, it's like, 20, 30, 40 degrees, colder. For them, it's just like 10, 20, whatever. And they're just used to it. You could tell obviously that the weather was like a big factor in the game. I mean, dude, the guy threw 3 touchdowns. He threw 2 more completions than you did. 2 more, bro. And a touchdown. I think it's a touchdown. Nah, I don't think it's a touchdown. But still, it doesn't matter. I mean, the one thing though that I did see from the Patriots, it just, preparation matters, dude. They say they give Belichick a lot of, ups and downs. Well, you have Brady, but you have, Mac Jones doesn't count. It's just a person. like right now.
Yeah.
No offense, it just is, or just a player. But Belichick is just like kind of putting on a show. You know, you could tell even the formations. I mean, they're using like 6-0 linemen. You know, running the ball, just hit, ball go. You know, hit. You know, go. Like, you know, you can see like the openings and everything. It was just a very good executed game plan. That's just the coach. So that kind of showed me how, not necessarily this year, but just in the future, how the Patriots are gonna really shape up to be, and not just them, but just like in the future, like, you know how you have like a lot of Belichick disciples that like kind of left, but they kind of fail.
Yes.
You know, I think that, you know, Belichick tried to do the Jimmy G thing, but he kind of failed at that. But I think if he would have done that, or done it properly, and I would have, you know, pissed off, Brady, nor, you know, Kraft, it would just kind of, you know, kept it on, you know, pace how you wanted, and planned it. I think they would have been how they are now back then. Because I think obviously I think Garoppolo is a lot better than Mac Jones. Like, I think his ceiling is just higher. Right now, obviously he's better right now because, you know, he's more veteran, right? But I think his ceiling is just higher in general. But, you know, that's just me. That's just what I think. What do you think?
No, just referring back. I mean, everyone was wondering what the hell, you know, why they chose Mac Jones, uh, you know, to be the back. At one point, the backup to Cam Newton, and now the starter over Cam Newton. Uh, I mean, being from the Alabama team under the tutelage of Nick Saban over so many seasons, Mac Jones has definitely shown he is a disciplined athlete. I think he's got a high football IQ that Nick Saban prides over in his players. And, you know, Saban and Belichick, they got kind of a good relationship dating back to, you know, when they were head coach, assistant coach way back with the Browns in the mid 90s, I think. Uh, so definitely the system that Saban runs was helped. Uh, you know, it helped Mac Jones help to transition to become the Patriots. You know, a very viable replacement for Tom Brady. As evident, they're already in the top of the AFC East. They had that. I mean, yeah, he didn't throw a lot in this last game, but the games prior to that, he was making him look. He was, you know, he's a young stud. He's definitely a guy who could very well be the face of the franchise moving forward for the next, you know, decade. I mean, knocking on wood and stuff, you know, barring any injuries. Uh, but I guess what the hell were we talking about? I guess
The Patriots coming up with Mac Jones and playing. Well, they played the Bills, and just kind of going into that, like into like the Bills themselves. I mean, dude, like, it's because that's the thing, like, and the Bills Mafia are gonna get pissed right now. I don't mean to insult anyone, but
that's all right. Speak the truth.
they're kind of looking a little cowboy-ishy. And I don't mean to, so we're like, I know Stephen A right now is rejoicing. Where if anything can go wrong, it'll go wrong for them. I mean, dude, week one. Look at week one. I saw that game. I was with my parents. We were eating we're at Red Robin or something like that. I was watching the game. I was like, oh, it's gonna be a good game or whatever. My dad's like, this is a horrible game.
What the hell are you eating? This is a horrible game.
I was like, oh damn, it is a horrible game. The Bills lost, and they have a good team, dude. That's what they're saying. Like, the Bills had a better team. They had a better team. They had a way more talented team. But, like, the Patriots just played better. Like, they just did. And, like, I think it's just frustrating just because, you know, Josh Allen is supposed to be the guy, and he just can't get, you know, past, you know, the actual guys. And I think I think Patrick Mahomes is already there, but I think he is getting to the point where he can be that guy. I think Dak is I think I think he's better than Dak, but I think Dak is in that level as well, where like they're gonna be the guys or they're getting to be the guys, even though they're paying a whole bunch of money. But I just don't
Yes.
really trust them to like kind of win me the game. Like, here's the ball, win the game. Especially in the NFL, because you know how hard that is, like especially as a quarterback. So I think that yeah, it was very telling for the Patriots. That they won, right. And they were able to adapt. But that's not very surprising at all. Patriots do that all the time anyway with Belichick. What was kind of surprising again was just the Bills. I feel like they didn't look unprepared. They just felt like they felt like it was frustrating. Like, if it was frustrating for me to watch them get frustrated. Like,
Yes.
that's how it felt like. Like, I felt like I was playing the game and I was getting frustrated for them. Like, God.
As I mentioned, dude, just 40 miles per hour winds. I mean, whatever game plan they thought they were going to have just went out the door. The crap, we got to start running it like nonstop now.
Yeah.
More short passes. Ah, so yeah, I think that played a factor. They had to change up their game plan a bit.
Yeah, and obviously, it's gonna be in LA, the Super Bowl and stuff. So it's gonna be nice and sunny. But just being able to more than anything, the whole point of it is the adapt. Being able to adapt, and the Patriots were able to do that. The Bills were just simply not at home, which is the craziest thing. But it just happens. I think that the more anything the Bills lost, the Patriot or the Bills just lost and the Patriots won. I think the Patriots did win, strategically, but I just don't think. I think the Bills just straight up lost. Like, they could not win. And they have a really good defense. Josh Allen is what's up. They have Diggs, which he's playing really good. They just need to be able to, what's, one of your famous phrases, pull trigger.
They had to pull the trigger.
They
They should have
do.
traded Beasley. Nah, I'll play. That's a stretch.
No, no, but no, but you know what I mean. So but that's just kind of my take on that game. That game was I think was a lot more meaningful to just the playoffs, like that. That where you think. Well, I mean, the Bills were knocked off as the number one seed. So I don't know. I think it's gonna be interesting as we continue on with the season.
Oh, no doubt, no doubt. It's going to definitely be an exciting couple of weeks more in the month of December to see, you know, if there's any more like three-way ties or different scenarios that'll play out with the wild card races. Uh, but no, we'll just have to see how it goes. I don't know. Just as a preview, who the hell plays this Thursday?
Dude, I think it's Bucks.
Buccaneers. Who are they going to demolish?
I think it's Thursday Night Football. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, I think maybe they're. Hmm. I think soon there might be less Thursday night footballs.
Actually, I think yeah. I don't think there is a Thursday night.
Yeah, this will be the first in a long while that we don't have any Thursday night, just because we're already in the second half of the season, and that's just strictly Sundays and Mondays now.
Oh, no. It is this week. This is the last week with Thursday night.
Oh,
Yeah,
oh, okay,
next
sorry.
week. Yeah, week 15 is gonna have a Saturday.
Oh, yeah, getting into the crazy Saturday. There might be a Tuesday thrown in there.
Yeah.
Shit, just keep all your evenings open, I guess.
So Thursday night, it's actually gonna be it's gonna be Steelers Vikings.
Oh, okay. On Thursday, Steelers Vikes should be on air for that one.
Yeah, I think. Dang, dude. I think Zimmer might have to play for his job. I
So,
mean, if you think about it, I mean, he kind of is. I mean, they're letting go of coaches right now.
it is kind of a clean house type situation for some organizations.
Yeah, so but all right, bro, you wanna continue on into some b-ball stuff.
Yes, as for time constraints, I'm not sure if we'll get to our baseball or soccer talk. That could be for Thursday. I think we're kind of restructuring, but we'll end the show on some basketball talk. Uh, so currently, as it is,
Wait,
you
hold
know,
on, hold
some of
on,
the
hold on.
are you putting music?
Yeah, put a pizza. But do you want to do?
Ah, it is a little bit 4 past the hour, and that hour is 10 o'clock, which means we're officially Mezzo Forte Sportz
After
after
dark.
After dark is we're after dark, which means we're unrated, unregulated, unsolicited, unmarketed, and we're just straight up talking a whole lot of smack. So without further ado, just do a quick roundtable of where anyone's drinking anything interesting, beverages or food items. Um, Currently, I'm not. I should have brought my Dos Equis. I don't know why I didn't pack it up. So I'm drinking some nice Dr. Pepper, a nice local staple of Texas, Dr. Pepper. I think it was actually originated in Waco, I think, as per legend.
Really? Dang. Okay. It's pretty nifty information to know. But
And how about your end, man? Anything interesting to drink or eat over there?
yeah. So I don't really have much except I just got my Red Bull. Yeah, I know it's like super late. After dark, don't be drinking any caffeine, just like me. But I don't work tomorrow, so I'm gonna be up and be doing some editing, stuff like that. Not super exciting, but typical for me. But other than that, thank you guys so much for again following us on After Dark as well. You know, thank you, Rejoice. You guys are the best fans in the world. Of course, obviously, super fans are here with me. You know, go ahead and subscribe and follow us on Facebook, on Twitch, and our YouTube. And share. Tell your family and friends about us. And just let us know if you want to get down. Say, you know what, Danny, I like this team. How come no one talks about that team? How come no one talks about the sport? Like, God, like, I'm so mad about that. If you're mad about it, let us know, dude. You got your seat right here. It's called Super Fan Zone. You can talk about anything you want. So that's the exciting part, you know that. Yeah. So, but other than that, just thank you so much, guys, for joining us after dark. We're gonna start doing some basketball.
That's right. And well said on your last comment, Danny. Anybody out there, if you feel you want to talk about any of your favorite sports teams, franchises, or even if it's a sport we don't normally discuss, there's an open invitation for y'all to just hit us up, and we'll love to have you on the show. As long as you keep it clean, we'll talk about anything. But yeah, we're moving on into I think what could be our final segment of the evening is talking a little bit of basketball, going to the hard court. So some things that were going on today, some games to watch. Yet the Nets at the Mavericks, the Knicks at our own Spurs, and the Celtics and the Lakers in a storied rivalry matchup. As it currently stands, the Celtics and Lakers are currently at halftime. Lakers are up 60-55. Lead scorers is Jason Tatum for the Celtics and LeBron James on the other end. Surprise, surprise. The Mavericks and the Nets, excuse me. Mavericks and the Nets. That was a surprisingly close score. The Nets did actually win just not too long ago at a score of 102-99. James Harden, I think he led scores at 23 points, 9 rebounds, 12 assists. On the other end, Luka Doncic, 28 points of his own, 6 rebounds and 9 assists. And then our own Spurs. Unfortunately, they not only did they drop a game against the Suns yesterday, they dropped today's game at home, mind you, and a bit of a homestead they got going on. They lost to the Knicks 121-109. I think one of our leading scorers was Derek White. He had 26 points, 6 rebounds, and 7 assists. On the other end, the Knicks were heavily helped out by R.J. Barrett. Their shooting guard had about 32 points and 5 rebounds of his own. So just to kind of give some context, I know the Spurs they had their matchup against the Suns yesterday. Um, and the Suns, man, they're one of the top teams, like not just in the West, but in the league overall. They had like I don't know, 18, almost 18 game win streak or 17, and then they lost that streak because they lost to the Warriors just recently. But then they bounced back, and now they're pouncing on the Spurs. They have a score of 108, 104. Chris Paul, he had a few clutch plays late in the fourth, and he finished with 21 points, 10 assists. Jay Crowder, who I'm not really fond of, had a season high, 19 points, and the Suns, they were able to hold off that Spurs, who just, they wouldn't go quietly into the night. I saw the game. It came down to like the final minute. Um, we almost got within three a couple of times, but it just wasn't meant to be. Tie the game. Phoenix was the first team to hit the 20-win mark of the season, though Golden State Warriors they joined them about an hour later after they won on their own against Orlando 126 to 95. The Suns and the Warriors have played twice this season, with each team winning on their own home floor. Chris Paul's first game-changing play on this Monday came defensively on a stellar steal. Uh, Motherfucker, he poked the ball away from the DeJounte Murray as he was driving to the hoop to maybe get us within two or one. It was a fast break. It was about a minute 30 left in the game. It would have cut the Phoenix lead to 1 point. Instead, it deflected off of Murray's fingers. Chris Paul, he poked it, he bounced in the air, and Murray, it went off his fingers. And I was watching it with my buddy Wop. What the fuck? That was definitely the nail in the coffin, so to speak. So the Spurs, they had their 4-game winning streak snapped. All 5 of San Antonio's starters scored in double figures, led by Murray's 17 points. Brian Forbes added 15 points off of the bench. Spurs guard Devin Vassell, who right quad, he didn't really play. Backup forward Drew Eubanks, he didn't play in the first half, but he had 8 solid minutes in the second half. He had 4 points and 4 rebounds. Doug McDermott and Jakob Pertl, they both each scored 14 points of their own. McDermott, he had 12 of his 14 points in the fourth. The dude was, he was a little bit clutch in the ending stretch of the game. Spurs are currently beginning a 5-game homestand. They began today in that loss with the Knicks. New York, on their end, they headed into this matchup as losers of their own 3-game losing streak. Spurs have gone 4-6 in home games. San Antonio is about 0-1 in one possession games. DeJounte Murray, dude, he's averaging 19 points, 8.5 rebounds, 8.5 assists, and 2 steals for the Spurs. That's pretty much he's leading in most averages.
I mean, he's balling, dude. That's what people are like, no, I don't trust DeJounte. I'm like, dude, what else do you want him to do? Like, goddamn. This guy's like got like, what is it, 6 triple doubles? It's the most consecutive triple doubles since Tim Duncan or whatever. Like, goddamn. He got 14 assists the other day. Like, this guy's balling. Like, he's balling. And, like, assists, those rebounds, like, those are, like, especially in the Spurs system, you have to work for it. It's not like you're, no offense, Westbrook, but, your freebies, like, a rebound, that's a lot, Westbrook, no, there's a guy that's going to rebound it, there's a guy that's going to do this, there's a guy that's going to do that, like, you have very specific, assignments or whatever, so for him to be able to, like, I mean, essentially, what he's doing is just kind of, taking the team, on his back. I could easily, it's very easy for me to say, right? But I think if he averages like 3, maybe 4 more points, dude, I think he can like really like pull through, like break through like next year. If we get, obviously we get a good lottery pick and stuff like that. But, I'm pretty excited about the Spurs. I know Tosco isn't very excited about it at all. But I think that, it's a challenge for Pop, dude. Like, I mean, even the U.S. basketball, that was hard. So especially because everything is so equal. The talent pool is so um, diverse now across the world, and now like across the teams, or like every team is good. And I think that the Spurs do just need like a couple, maybe 2, 3 more years to kind of really to be they're going to be really bad to at some point get starting it really really good. We don't have any veterans. They just need to be veteran themselves to get some experience. I would like. I don't think this year they'll get in the playoffs. I think they might get into the play in maybe next year, depending. But I think that just like high pressure games, like the Golden State one and stuff like that, I think those are good for the young players, just as because it really teaches you, especially DJ, bro. Like, I mean, that guy looked like he did not look scared of the moment, and that's good, dude. Like that's a comforting feeling, And I'm sure Pop feels the same way, but I don't know, just kind of like a little bit of what just watching the game itself.
No, that's true. And I mean, a guy I didn't mention earlier, Derek White, he's averaging 14.9 points, 3.8 rebounds, while shooting 41.4% over the arc over these past 10 games for San Antonio. We've been seeing a lot of our rookie, what's his name, Josh Primo. Did I get his
Yeah,
first name right?
yeah.
I mean,
Joshua.
he was there yesterday. I was seeing him. He was guarding Chris Paul, like one of the youngest players versus one of the oldest veterans. Like it was a pretty good sight to see. The young guy holding his own. I think he's barely like 19 years old. And he's playing like alongside these legends. That's invaluable experience. He probably wouldn't get if he was still with the Austin affiliate. So it's good. He's seeing a lot of good quality minutes. Uh, he had some good plays too. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, so he's definitely a good accent player or a Robin to Dejounte Murray's Batman, maybe a young Ward.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. I think for him it's gonna be a while. But I think he's just gonna be a very good like shooter. Like I don't know about like because the thing is like Seth like Curry. I mean, yeah, he's the greatest shooter ever. I mean, he's like an exception, right? The exception to so many rules. But he's
Yes,
he's not a big dude. Like he's not tall. He's not like big or whatever. But he can shoot the ball like from literally anywhere. Like literally, like he has unlimited range. So just having shooters, I think Primo can turn into a shooter slash like real 3-and-D guy, like maybe like a Chris Middleton that shoots more threes, or even not like it's like Curry's brother, like Seth Curry
Seth Curry
or Tobias Harris type of thing, where like these dudes can like score in like large, you know, it's
spurts.
like spurts or whatever. Yeah,
That's true.
but we'll see. He's still young. I mean, I would say the Spurs system is the Spurs system. It's gonna be a while before we see a lot of the fruit. The seeds that they planted. But at least there's some seeds that are planted. And
Well, one thing Spurs fans are definitely looking forward to this season is I think Coach Greg Popovich. I think he's maybe 18 or 17 games or so away from like the all-time winningest coach uh, in terms of career wins as a head coach. Uh, I think he's almost there at that top spot. I don't know who he would supersede, but I think I remember seeing somewhere that it's like around 18 wins that are needed to get him the honor of that. Um, yeah, we'll definitely, you know, I'll keep a track of that. I'll start to keep a track of that. Like, how many more wins does Pop need for that top coaching title, whatever? Uh, but yeah, that's mostly what we had to talk about in the Spurs realm. Uh, some other things that were going on. I think some big news that was happening. I saw could Dame time be up in Portland? Well,
whoa,
once Portland Trailblazers star Damian Lillard, he stopped threatening to request a trade everyone understood it's inevitable, the possible moment of truth. His future remained bound to this upcoming summer of 2022. It wasn't this 2021. Extensions were always automatic for him, but that's no longer the case. So Lillard reportedly he wants a 2-year, $170 million extension this upcoming
Oh,
July,
nah, dude.
and he and his agent need the next general manager, because they just fired the recent one, to maybe sell the ownership on that idea. Uh, as much as anything, this cuts to the core of the Blazers search process.
I was gonna say like it's a lot of money, dude.
It's a big, it's a big chunk to put on the plate of whoever that new GM is going to end up being. Lillard's desire for an extension into his advanced NBA years has turned into a battle for the franchise's future, an existential threat, if you will, to reshaping and to redirecting the organizations in a post-playoff reality. So the prospects of Portland extending Lillard, who was currently 31, beyond his current $48.8 million 2024 to 25 pay, uh, in order to pay him 51 million by the age of 35 years old and 55 million at the age of 36, that threatens to turn what would be an asset of a contract into an albatross, so to speak.
Yeah.
So with 4 seasons, including an opt-out left on his deal, Lillard, he pretty much had no leverage to choose his next team this past summer. If he had asked out, he would have gone where Portland could possibly get the best package of young players, maybe draft picks or help with some salary cap relief. But that didn't really transpire this past summer. I think one proposed idea was like trade Lillard to the Sixers and give up Simmons and like 4 draft picks for players. I don't know. Lillard, I don't know. A lot of people are somewhat divided on, oh, it's great. He's trying to be loyal, stay his entire career as a Portland Trailblazer, like greats as, Tim Duncan would have done, just write off your whole career with one franchise. Yeah, you're getting a lot of money to do so, or you're asking for a lot of money to do so. Other fans are like, you're too good to just limit yourself in the twilight of your NBA career.
Yeah.
You should definitely be, go out there, man, chase the market, go chase that ring that, you kind of deserve as one of the premier point guards of the past, like, I don't know how many decades.
Yeah, I mean, if it was
the current game, yeah.
I mean, if he didn't live in the era of like the greatest shooter ever, I mean, he could make the argument for the second best. I mean, honestly. I mean, granted, Ray Allen, and I mean, there's more better established shooters or whatever. But Lillard is no joke, dude. Like, he's pretty clutch. He's
definitely one of the top 5 point guards currently in the league, and has been over the past, decade or so. But I mean, guys, he's not getting any younger. Things are definitely changing over there in Portland with the new GM hire that'll be coming shortly. In your opinion, man, what do you think? Is it wise for him to stay, to be loyal, or is he just squandering any chances of getting a championship ring by trying to leave?
You know what the Clash say?
What do they say, bro?
Should I stay or should I go?
Oh, you got me there.
Should I stay or should I go? I think that he should leave. Dude, I'm sorry. Like, the Portland Trailblazers are a good organization. They just haven't done anything. Like, they just haven't. I don't know about going to LA. I mean, like you said, like, if you want to win a ring, maybe do what? 76ers. Maybe Miami. The Heat.
Well, they got Lowry already.
Yeah, but they can get Lillard instead. Maybe get rid of Drew Holiday. Maybe. Oh, dude, ooh, I'm gonna throw one.
Throw it out there.
The Nets. Ooh.
Get rid of Kyrie.
Come back.
We'll get rid of Kyrie, and we'll give you back Aldridge after all these years, so he can retire as a Blazer. Yes or yes?
Dude, that would be. I mean, if I was in Nets, I would probably try to get in on that. I mean, honestly, I mean, Kyrie would be like, "All right, bro, we're like, you can do whatever you want here." Oh, okay, cool.
Welcome to Portland, Oregon.
Or I don't know, because I don't see him going to any other team um that are like that can contend. He want to go to like the Jazz or like the Nuggets or anything like that. Just because I don't think they're high profile enough. I don't think he would go to the Spurs just because we're just not. The only reason why he would go to the Spurs just would be because of Pop, but I mean it's like a very
That's taking steps backward from ring chasing.
Yeah, I mean I think he'd be if we had Lillard in the team right now. Opposite of DJ. I mean, we'd get far in the playoffs. I don't know about winning the whole thing, actually, but
that's fine. And to not to interrupt you there, but if any of you all current viewers out there, if you all want to get a part of this, what is it? This poll that we're going through, whether or not Lillard is wise to stay, or what reasons does he have to stay, or is it smarter to go in order to try to squeeze out the remaining years of his, NBA career? He's already getting to the wrong side of 30. But then again, I mean, look at Chris Paul. He's still contributing, and well, maybe it's not a good comparison. Yeah, his old age, but he's learned to adapt his body to different styles of play as a facilitator. Even though when he plays the Spurs, he's more like the Terminator.
Yeah, for real. God. I mean, what about like maybe the Celtics?
When LeBron turns like 40 some and like he's like a player coach, and he's got like his son LeBron Jr. and he's still got the expendables of basketball talent. He'll have Damian Lillard on that new Expendables team. I don't know what other retirement guys would also go with Lillard. It'd be funny to see though.
Dwayne Wade. Be like
he'll 50. Bring Dwayne Wade out of retirement.
Be like 50. Bring MJ back. I want to play.
I'm saying like current players who are destined to be on LeBron's all-team retirement.
I don't know.
All right, they'll bring McCollum back. Bucket. They'll bring McCollum. They'll have Serge Ibaka.
I mean, I could see him going to the Bucks or the 76ers.
It's not that much of a stretch. If the right players and deal was made, Lillard for a player, 2 players, and some draft picks, that's not bad. I mean, the Blazers need to start thinking of what's going to happen when Lillard decides to retire or get traded. Any contingencies?
No lie. I think that's a. I don't know. If I was Lillard, I would leave, and not to be like you're not loyal or whatever, but like a ring is different, dude. Like once you start, like for us, it's we're fans. We just want our team to win all the time, right? Anything. But to like players, like you win, you lose, you win, you lose, or whatever. But at some point, you're like, damn, man, like I've never won a championship.
Yeah.
And I'm one of the top players in the league, and people respect me or whatever. But I haven't won a ring.
So that don't mean shit.
Yeah, like
all these honors and awards, that don't mean shit.
And you're like, oh, at least you're playing in the NBA. I was like, well, yeah, dude, we got to realize that like these NBA players, they've won awards and all this stuff like their entire lives. Like they're literally the best of the best of the best, sir. Like literally. Like,
or they're a bunch of bench players that just happen to be in the right place at the right time, and they get their own ring before Lillard does.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Fuck.
Like what is it? McGee. Even though he did play
Joel
David
McGee and
McGee.
Kyle Kuzma, he got that ring with the Lakers in the bubble league game. So yes, the world's very unfair sometimes. People win awards that really shouldn't have even been on the bench.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly. Like um, but yeah. So I think he should leave. I don't think. I don't know. We'll see how that works out. Depending on how. Cause it's like a double-edged sword. Cause it's like, okay, fine, we'll buy it, we'll get you Lillard, we'll pay you. Okay, but you can't even build around him anyway.
Because you wasted all. I mean, you tied up all that money. You can't
So
afford anybody else.
yeah, so it's like, F my life. So like, where do I go? I don't know. I would talk to Lillard, like, be like, bro, look, we're not gonna be able to pay you. We're just straight up not. I don't think anyone will. I mean, honestly, the only people that would probably pay him that much would probably like the T Wolves or like the Kings or something.
Yes.
Like, oh yeah, take Aaron Fox. We don't care.
I guess that's the other big question is how much are you willing for that ring? Are you willing to take a pay cut? You could either relocate or take a pay cut. And I don't think anybody's going to want to take a pay cut unless you really, really don't believe you have any more shots at the title with your current team.
Yeah, and I think you as a player you kind of sense these things where you're like, all right, well if I would be somewhere along the lines where, all right, cool, if we make a pay cut, that bueno, but what are you gonna use this money for? Oh, we're just gonna get probably an extra lineman or something, or like in this case basketball, we're just gonna get like an extra shooter, like an extra defender. Like no, dude, like get a star, like okay, cut my stuff, but use that money and go grab a star. Like I need someone else.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I would if I would was a star athlete or so, I would do something like that. But obviously, it doesn't really work like that at all, if any, at all.
No, no. Duly noted. So it'd be interesting to see this whole saga play out with if they're willing to shell out that kind of money to extend them, past the 2024-25 season. Uh, for that Dame time, we'll see if Dame time is up or not. Uh, but just moving on to a few of our other basketball headlines. A team that I thought would be a good dark horse out there in the East, the Miami Heat. They're currently getting beaten down by the injury bug. So Miami Heat star Jimmy Butler aggravated a tailbone injury that kept him out of 4 games in his return to the court this past Monday in a 105-90 loss to the Memphis Grizzlies. Butler, he favored his back after he fell hard on a missed driving layup early in the first quarter. He scored just 10 points, 13 shots before heading into the locker room midway through that third quarter. He did not return. The Heat on Tuesday, they ruled out Butler for Wednesday's game against the Bucks. That was like one of the more sexier matchups that I thought would be for tomorrow. The Bucks and the Heat, but they're not at full strength. Marquise Morris, he was also ruled out of Wednesday's game, which would be his 16th consecutive he will have missed because of a neck injury. Meanwhile, All-Star big man Bam Adebayo, he expected to miss 4 games. No, excuse me. Bam Adebayo is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks after undergoing surgery to repair a torn ligament in his right thumb this past Tuesday. So a lot of crap is going on with Miami. I guess get it out of the way now, and maybe you could, make a good push for the playoffs after February. Because right now they just having trouble getting personnel on the court. I guess I don't know who their affiliate is in the G League, but I'm sure they caught up a couple of guys to
Yeah,
replace some bodies.
send me 2 bodies. I need 2 bodies. God, it's like what?
Yeah. Yeah, so we're gonna face the Bucks, and we need someone to get posterized by Giannis Antetokounmpo. Put in the rookie. Good deal.
Say, all right, good. Send me 2. Just in case.
And then just, if anyone even cares, the Chicago Bulls star and former Spur DeMar DeRozan entered the NBA's health safety protocol on Monday after missing the team's 109-97 home victory over the McNuggets. He is the third Bulls player currently in the health and safety protocols, joining Kobe White and Javonte Green, both of whom tested positive for COVID-19 last week. DeRozan, he ain't going to travel to Cleveland when they face off against the Cavs Wednesday. Now, players who do test positive are required to miss at least 10 games unless they return multiple negative tests within a 24-hour window. And additionally, to these 3 players in the health safety protocol, the Bulls are also without their guard, Alex Caruso, the legend, for at least a week while he recovers from a right hamstring injury. Caruso, the former Texas A&M Aggie, underwent an MRI on Monday, which Coach Donovan said did not reveal anything significant, but the team did not want to risk any further injury to their franchise player, Caruso. I don't know. Is there any other basketball talk that's not Caruso related that you want to just throw out there as we unwind in our show?
So I'm good. We should be good with all the Caruso calls tonight.
I'll light a candle for him.
Yeah, he should. It's a MJ 2.0, bro, the better version. All right, guys. Well, thank you so much again for listening to us today. I guess we'll start wrapping up. Do you have anything else, Art, before we?
No, just want to thank everyone out there for joining us for this week's episode. Currently, if you're staying up to watch the Lakers-Boston, Lakers are currently up, but, here's to Boston pulling off that upset. But no, we'll definitely see you all back here on Thursday, God willing. We'll be talking maybe some baseball, maybe peppering a little bit of hockey action. And I know MLS, you Major League Soccer fans out there, I think that might also be coming to the season's conclusion with a championship lurking around the corner. So I've got a lot of good stuff to continue on for our Thursday show. But alas, we have to say goodnight. We thank you once again. Daniel, you got the mic.
All right, so let's go ahead and put the siren on. Oh, what is that? All right, guys. Thank you so much for listening to us today, chilling with us for this episode. Hope y'all can chill with us next time. Of course, go ahead and follow us on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, Instagram, and YouTube. Want to check out our podcast coming soon on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio coming soon. Thank you guys so much to our sponsors, music and graphics provided by Studio 13th Day. Stanny BMD signing off, saying later to all the UTSA fans. UTSA. Dude, well, bro, y'all better support there and be there or on your television or whatever. All right, this is Danny BMD signing out, saying later still. I'll bring it home, Arturo.
Thank you, Dan. Our lesson of the day is, you know what Damian Lillard and college football coaches have in common? It's all about the Benjamins. Remember, sports are great, but nothing without y'all, the fans. This is episode number 84. Until next time, folks, be cool, stay safe, and keep on listening to Mezzo Forte Sportz. Oh my God, I fucking love you guys, the show. Thank you, girl.
Bro, I just want to say that we're both wearing Star Wars shirts. Just saying. Yeah, boy. Look, dude, I got my Millennium Falcon too.
Simon Kana. Merry Sithmas way.
Oh, dude, you better watch that Christmas special, or not ever.
It's a classic. Gotta watch it.
All right, guys, y'all.